Sounds good. Hey, welcome back to Anime on the Sea to Sky. I'm a little bit mixing it up, considering I've got a pair of guests joining me today, so why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hey, my name is Randall. Go by Angel Carpet Online or podcast. Go by Two for One Special. Got my co-host, God Brother LJ, with us, and we've been talking to Jacobs for a while, and he hit us up talking about, hey, you want to talk about anime? I was like, shoot, let's go for it, and here we are.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like you guys had like more than enough to go through. You were able to spread the topics around. You got some anime, you got some video games, you got some movies, and got a bit of sports in the background too, considering we were
Yeah,
just talking about that, sure. But yeah, no, it's at least not necessarily I'm not in the best of spirits, considering that my hockey team is essentially down 0-3 in their finals, so hockey season's about to wrap up probably on Sunday, but at least for the NBA, I mean, we got the Suns that are going through, and then Milwaukee has the opportunity to bloody close it out against Atlanta.
for sure, for sure. The only thing I hate, all the injuries. That's the only thing I hate, all the injuries. I think this season alone has the most injuries any NBA game, I mean, or any season at all. Like a whole bunch of superstars got injured this season.
But
No,
that's
yeah,
what happens when, they start the season back up too quickly.
True
And that's
that.
all that was.
yeah, same deal. Like pitchers wrecking their arms in the MLB. The majority of the guys like heading out and like breaking ankles in both hockey and the NBA. Like fucking heart skipped me when I saw Giannis go down like that. Like, fuck, That was
Yeah,
of all the ones that you could actually see that happening, and he wasn't back for Game 5. So
I'm
they had
surprised to be honest with you. I'm surprised he even walking at this point.
that
But
shit
they
was
said
fucking
it wasn't
scary.
too bad. They think it might be the ACL, but the last when they did an X-ray, they said it wasn't too bad. So I don't think he's
Yeah,
coming back. I don't think he should come back, but
yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
after that, the heck no. He, if I was the trainer or if I was just him in general, I'd be like, look, y'all saw the footage. My leg legit went like bent. Like, no, I'm not coming back.
Oh yeah, no. Like I was getting some phantom pain, like going through that. It's like my knee literally just fucking like jittered out of its fucking
What you
socket. It's like,
saying?
oh my
yeah.
god, there's nothing. Nobody's happy, and like whenever that shit goes down. So that's definitely tragic. Really hope. Yeah, thankfully, like you said before, it definitely seems like there wasn't any, uh, like any long term or any like serious tears or through the injury. But it's definitely like going through. It's very skeptical whether he's going to be coming back, anyways. But yeah, at least for the long term, he seems like he's going to be good. But yeah, that's the only question is that if there's ever going to be an opportunity for him to show up, even if they do make it to the finals.
Yeah. Hope. Well, we'll see. Because I think Trey Young is out too. I think. I could
Yeah,
be
Yeah,
wrong.
he is
He's
ankle.
out. Out being to be honest with you, I don't know. It's whoever at this point. It's whoever got the healthy team. The
Milwaukee got
Sun.
more shooters.
Yeah.
If you're talking about who's going to win between the Hawks and Milwaukee,
Man, I don't even know. All I know is it just tragic. All these superstars went down. To me, it just whoever got the healthy team gonna win. And so far, it look like the Suns because I don't think nobody on the Suns is injured. I could be wrong.
Chris Paul hurt, but
he was able to.
he's working through it because I think he has a
He shot
torn
fucking
ligament.
yeah,
Yeah,
and he
he
ended up
got
going
torn.
41 points in the last game to put him in the finals. It's like holy shit.
Which everybody kind of like how he did that after he got a torn ligament in his hand, in his shooting hand, and then his shoulder still messed up from the Lakers game.
We
Hmm.
know he's on a mission because this man he wants that ring.
Yeah, if he wins, he retiring. I
You
definitely
think
think
so? How old he is?
36.
I
Yeah, yeah,
I
okay.
get two more. I got him two more.
I think if he wins this one, he's gone. I think he gonna say for the NBA, I'm tired.
Yeah, just give Phoenix their first ring and then just dip. Yeah.
And bounce, yeah. Like, look, I did my job. I'm out. Somebody who did that? Somebody did that. I forgot.
A lot of people do that.
Somebody.
Hey, Manning did that in
I mean, not
football.
yeah, not necessarily. At least on my end, considering that being from Canada, still got a Raptor whenever they go through it and make it deeper on the postseason. That was literally Kawhi, where it's just kind of like, hey man, you're just going to trade me out, and I'm going to get you a ring for a season, and then I'm going to head over to the Clippers. I'm going to head back to LA.
Kawhi said, "Look, I did my part. I'm out." Like, look, y'all been nice, but look, I gotta go back to the States.
I'm going back home. Yeah. Well, I guess it's an anime podcast. I guess we may as well get to talking about some form of it at this point
Oh,
in
hey,
time. Even
that's
though,
how we is. We talk about random stuff.
yeah, no. At least it did seem like in your last week episode that you were thinking about. At least you did acknowledge, like going through that Mappa. They finally ended up doing like the 10th anniversary stream and announcing a lot of their stuff going through. And so I'm definitely kind of curious to see how that's going through because they've got not on top of the stuff that they announced like through their live stream, considering that they got a show called Remain coming out next season, so they've already got that lined up. They've got an additional one set up for the fall season, which is like, oh god, like Tact Opium or no, not Opium, or Opera or something along those lines, like a musical uh like action sort of series. But then of course the biggest hit that everybody was curious because they knew that they were going to be doing Chainsaw Man. Everybody knew that essentially they had that down wrapped and they were the ones that were heading on the production. And even though they only gave us a minute through the preview, a lot of considering that I wasn't the one that ended up watching the live stream, but considering that there was a vast majority of people going through, it's like, okay, well, I just went through a 5-hour live stream without any subtitles, with absolutely no interest or have no idea what I'm saying, but I did get to watch the preview of Chainsaw Man. So in the end of the day, it was all worth it. Have you guys read Chainsaw Man at any point? Do you have any relationship with the series?
I caught up on it on Facebook. I'm on like a whole bunch of anime groups on Facebook. I didn't hear it. I don't know how long. It's been a while. I saw it on Facebook and they was like, "You guys need to get on this. This manga is amazing." And I didn't read the manga. I just like looked at parts of it, and then it was good. I ain't gonna lie, it was good. And then they announced the anime that Mappa was making it, and I didn't know. I knew it had a following. I didn't know it had a following to this extent because I think the trailer itself just was like the most watched in like hours, like 5, 6, 7 hours. I think.
What the like the highest viewed
Yeah, the
like
highest viewed
video?
trailer. Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. I think it had like 10 million, in like 5, 7 hours, something like that. But but yeah, I heard about it. I really didn't get the chance to read it. I barely have enough time to read manga. What I usually do, if it's an anime that I really like, I look up their Wikipedia page, and that's how I read a manga. Because pretty much on the Wikipedia pages, they like I'm pretty much cheating the manga. Instead of reading like the whole manga, I just read like the important parts, like the battles, the characters. They break it down, and that's how I read my manga. I really don't have enough time to sit down and read manga like I want to. But yeah, I heard about it. I really didn't like study it or read it, but I knew of it. But I didn't know it was gonna blow up like it did now.
Oh yeah, no, because yeah, for me it was kind of interesting considering that it was one of those series where I almost like jumped in the first month that it was going through, kind of like week by week, and it was just like going through a couple of the early chapters where it was just kind of like it was not really much that you had seen. Considering that it's a gory series, there's definitely been gore. There's been ultra violence in the majority of the other stuff, but in kind of varying degrees, in the sense that like you got Attack on Titan from more like a fantastical like steampunk sort of deal, heading over to Berserk, which is a lot more fantasy driven, and now this is kind of like more in the sense of the modern day, kind of in the same vein. Since a couple of buddies were asking me, it's like, can you give me like any sort of like comparative like to anything that's been coming out lately? And I was like, oh, well, to be fair, one of the previous ones that they did, like Jujutsu Kaisen, like incredibly, like a
Yeah.
much similar way, in the sense that, and then kind of like JoJo's too, considering that there are kind of like contracts and stands in the sense, but they're essentially like not devils, but oh no, yeah, they are devils. Never mind. But it's and it was just such a like ridiculously out there, and considering like Genji, the like the main character of this, like he's such a different kind of protagonist, in the sense that he's such like he's kind of like an animal in that sense. Dude didn't have a childhood. Like in the first chapter, all it is essentially, it's like, okay, my dad abandoned me when I was young. Mother was already dead. Mafia or the Yakuza came by, considering that my dad had a debt of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's just kind of like, yo, guess what? He ran out on you, and so you're going to be the one that's going to have to pick up the tab. And so he'd literally just been, and so for the longest time, he'd been selling body parts and like going through the majority of his teenage years, like going off of fucking bread crusts and trying to pay off the majority of his debt to kind of have any semblance of a life before he ends up finally coming into his own and making a contract, becoming a chainsaw man and leading into a different kind of life. That actually gives him the opportunity to like kind of be a person, except he never is really able to go too far from his leash. But he's just going to be such a, like, not wacky is kind of like too positive a way to like to put a semblance on his character, but he's going to be like a really interesting protagonist to go through, and kind of I'm gonna be interested to see how the majority of the audience reacts to him.
Oh yeah. Now let me ask you this: do you think it's gonna be rushed?
It's definitely, I don't think it's going to be rushed in the sense that I'm more concerned about considering that at least with how many projects the MAPPA has taken on, like going through the majority of these, because MAPPA, nothing positive has come out of that studio besides the works that they've done, considering that a lot of their adaptations through, I still enjoyed like Attack on Titan's first season, or the first part of the final season. I ended up really enjoying like Jujutsu Kaisen, considering that that's now up there on terms of just some of the more popular shonens coming out as of date. And I mean, still going through like Dorohedoro and Yasuke, like all the stuff that they put out on Netflix, like their adaptations, their adaptations are just top tier, just really like in the upper sets. And that's why everybody's trying to find them and get a little piece of that action, get a little bit of an opportunity to kind of have that sort of adaptation fall into their lap. I don't think the series is going to be rushed, because even if they did a 24 episode like split core, that's not going to be able to finish the entire story. I'd probably say they would need about 36 episodes or so to go through the entirety of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a 12 to 24 like non-rushed, like similar paced in comparison to the manga, but they will at some point in time have to finish it. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be like based on success and how that kind of goes through, because they did pick a lot of good cuts to put in their trailer. Like that shit, that was, I probably like watched it half a dozen times, considering that it's just absolutely insane. Like trying to figure out like how many like references and points that they were able to like give to really like tickle the fancy of everybody who's like really curious to see. It's like, what's the door? What's the deal with the devils and the majority of the characters around this? Why is it like everybody is in something like a really happy-go-lucky positive dream sequence in the first 30 seconds of it? Well, actually, yeah, about the first 30 seconds of it, but then MAPPA does what they do best and show a lot of their action cuts to really hammer the point home. So I'm still thinking that they'll take their time. They know how big this project is in terms of like their grandeur and the amount of people who are going through and are really going to be interested in picking up this series. So I think out of all the projects that they've got running now, this is one that they're going to give a little more priority and a little more time to at least get it out the door in the same vein as like Jujutsu Kaisen. So hopefully to somewhat of that degree.
I gotcha. But you right on that part, because now like everyone is talking about this anime, and they just like it just I didn't think they expect it to. Well, trailer wise, I didn't think they expected to take off like it did with all the like record-breaking views it did, all that stuff. But yeah, when it comes out, you got to be on his A game, because like you said, a whole bunch of people gonna be watching it. But I think they're gonna pull a Jujutsu Kaisen. Like it's gonna be something similar to that.
Yeah, it definitely seems like, and like it is so. It's definitely in the similar style, in the similar vein of like a wide cast of characters, like all quirky. All of them have like a place, and like people are going to be jumping on. What is it? Like there's a handful, like Makima, like what's her name? Makima. She's the one that was biting his finger in the middle of the trailer, and it's just kind of like people are going to have a reaction to her. I'm really curious to see like what kind of, though, because she is definitely like one of the more dynamic characters inside of this, probably more dynamic than the main Denji himself, but she definitely pulls her weight.
I gotcha. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially after all like what you said with the trailer, all the stuff they put in the trailer. I'm definitely looking forward. You know when it's coming out?
Now that's what they were curious about, since there were rumors that they were going to pop it out in the fall of this year, which would have been so October. But considering that after they decided to just run the trailer and not even take a release date, I'm going to say optimistically it's going to be in October. And then more realistically, I would probably say if they still haven't put out a release date yet, call it winter of next year. So call it January.
Yeah, to be because Attack on Titan. I think Attack on Titan come out back in December.
Oh, it's no, yeah, December of 19. Yeah, so it might actually run concurrently with Attack on Titan, like the final season part
To
two.
be
Like, holy
honest
shit!
with you, because how big Attack, especially because we go well, LJ. He. I'm gonna let him talk about Attack on Titan, but just how big Attack on Titan is, especially the last the part two of the final season. If I wouldn't. Well, it's gonna cross path no matter what, because more than likely Attack on Titan part two probably gonna go for like 3 months. Probably if it comes out in December, I say maybe the middle of March, in a March where it might uh stop, depending on how many episodes they're gonna do. Also, the ending. Like, do you think they're gonna do the alternate ending, or you think they're gonna go the manga route and follow that ending on Attack on Titan?
Does it really matter? Because
Hold on. You know, you
it's
get
the same ending. No, wait, no.
no.
It's the same ending.
You
There's
know,
no difference. There's no difference.
You get to
They
talk
only
later.
added a couple
You get
pages.
to talk later.
There's no difference.
You hate. You hating. You get
I'm
to talk
not
later.
hating, but
I'm
it's
talking
the
to
same
Jacobs.
ending.
I'm talking to Jacobs. You get to talk later.
It's the same. It's the same ending. It's exactly.
They changed a few. They
No,
changed
it
a
didn't.
few. Yes, they
Added
did.
some. They added extra stupid stuff. You're right. They did add some more extra stupid stuff in
All
there.
right.
It's
So
the same exact
hold
ending.
on,
There's
LJ. All right,
nothing,
Jacobs. Let me ask you this.
nothing different.
Have you read the alternate endings on the manga? Yes or no?
The alternate endings, no,
Okay.
that's
So basically, I'm a huge
The
Attack
same
on Titan.
ending. It's
Look,
the same ending.
I'm a huge Attack on Titan fan. Now, chapters 130, LJ, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a while. Chapters 131 and 139, the director and author, who, however you want to say, because me and LJ both was confused when they brought this out. I don't know. But anyways, chapter 131 and 139, the director, author, somebody is changing it to a different ending. Now, I don't want to spoil it too much because I don't want to, your listeners, and I don't want to spoil you.
oh yeah, no.
But they did change some stuff up. I'm not gonna say what, but from the manga they changed a little bit. The ending, however, it's somewhat
It's the same.
it's the same, but it's the same, but it still made a lot of people pissed off to the point where the fans themselves decided to, like, you know what, we gonna make it our way. Because the rumor has it, when before season 4 came out, or before the end of season 3 part 2, I don't know, could be either one of them. Somebody made a tweet. I don't know if it was the author, director, or somebody. Somebody made a tweet saying the ending for Attack on Titan is gonna be dark. Like, don't get your hopes up, or don't get connected with the characters. The ending gonna be dark. Just know that. So everybody thought, like, oh, I'm really not trying to spoil it, but everybody think like, oh, Aaron gonna do this, or the court gonna do this, or they gonna do that. Come to find out, like, before the last 3 chapters of the manga came out, you already know people hacked it and data mined the pages or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Then they got the ending and they were pissed off because they were like, we don't want this ending. Like, this ending is garbage. And like LJ called it, I ain't gonna lie. When we was covering our podcast, he called it, and I was myself. I kind of figured want to be dark, but how the ending came, I was like, you could have did a little bit better. But yeah, man, it's Attack on Titan. Yeah, let's just say the fandom is highly pissed about the ending.
Oh yeah, no. I've heard nothing but it's only been meddling to like, it's ended, and the other half of the crowd was just kind of like, what the fuck was this? And everybody was, so there was not necessarily much positive to say that I heard about it, because for me, I got up to, let's see, in the gaps between seasons 1 and 2, I got up to chapter 115, and then I thought, considering that I knew that the fourth was going to be going through, and it's like, oh, final season, go through, rewatch, because it was an interesting lead up, because I treated Attack on Titan to the same vein that I did like Game of Thrones, in the sense that the year leading up to it, in between the gaps of the final seasons, it was like, technically I haven't seen or rewatched like the first episode of the first season since 2012. So like for a good 7 years. And for Attack on Titan, it was definitely kind of in the same vein, where it was just, okay, final season, that's going to be popping out on December. And so I've got a bit of time. I got a couple of months, and I haven't. It was definitely in that special vein, considering that it was same deal. It was one of those shows that jumped in week 1 back in 2013. And it was just kind of like a different kind of experience, like leading through and kind of like pushing through anime mainstream back in the early 2010s. But to this. And then what was it? I think there was a rumor like back in the mid 2010s where the mangaka, he had an ending planned that was dark, that was horrible, and that nearly everybody just like they lost, like humanity was going through, and like that was over. The secrets would remain buried, but it was just kind of like he turned around. It was like, nah, I just can't necessarily go through with this, and I'm gonna have to rework around it and try and figure out a way to kind of like wrap things up in a different perspective and go through. And yeah, it's definitely kind of unfortunate that through public consensus that it seems like he didn't succeed in going through that. And that's probably why he's trying to get his hand in and try and use the adaptation to alter it to something that's probably going to be a little more palpable to the rest of the crowd. But I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see until January, because I'm also curious if they're actually going to, because it seems like it'll probably be like a regular core, even though they did do like 16 episodes in the first part. But I'm really curious to see if they go through like either a 10 episode or a 14 episode or anything along that range, just to kind of see how much time they need to fit it all in and try and wrap it up. So hopefully.
I gotcha. But yeah, man, season 1 through 3. Well, part 1, part 1 was pretty much the lead up for part 2 for season 3. But season 1 through 3, for me, it was like a 9 out of 10. And then when season 4 came out, even though it was speculations, they were saying we wasn't even supposed to have season 4 because it was back and forth between the studios.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, what was it? Because Wit Studio did a fantastic job like on those first 3 seasons, but it was just kind of like, no, we don't. I think it was like partly in the sense of like the president and one of the producers, where it's like they wanted to do different works and they had already lined up like a handful of things that they wanted to go through, and like the production schedule and everything like revolving around Attack on Titan, it was good, but at a cost. Like they really fucking went ham to try and get the majority of that stuff through Levi, through the ODM, and going through, and then nobody wanted to pick it up because everybody knew, like behind the scenes, where it's like, holy fuck, this production schedule is tumultuous and hellish. Yeah. And then, of course, the only one to kind of pick that up, because, excuse me, the only people to be crazy enough, or the only producers are crazy enough to pick that up, was Mappa in the end.
And then, if I could be wrong, and also I think they had like strict overtime to push that out too, because I think the studio was working like 6 days a week, and they was like mandatory overtime too. So yeah, man. And then I don't know if you saw the director of Attack on Titan when they was doing the Mappa anniversary, but that man looks
ragged.
I'm like, dang.
There's bags, and then there's fucking sacks. Like, yeah, man. Like, god damn it.
Yeah. So I like to me, and I told LJ this when we was doing our episode. 1 to 3 for me is Attack on Titan. If somebody was new and came, and let's just say somebody just let's just say people like somebody just picked up anime or just want to watch anime and they never watch anime in their life.
Oh, it is such a good entry. Like it
Yeah.
is so perfect in that sense.
And I can guarantee you they will say season 1 to 3 is Attack on Titan. Season 4 does not feel like Attack on Titan at all to me. It feels like it's supposed to be like a sequel or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll go for it.
It's just that they changed so much. So like, cause I was talking to somebody was on Instagram or Twitter. I think it was Twitter, and we were just going over Attack on Titan, and he was like, "Season 4 to me just don't feel like Attack on Titan." And I asked him like, "Why you say that?" He said, "Just because on how Attack on Titan was when it first came out. Like you didn't know, like everybody was on an island. They didn't know human people was outside the wall. They didn't even know it was the ocean. They didn't know nothing, and they didn't know what the Titans was. They thought Titans were just some magical stuff. And for the people who never watched Attack on Titan, I ain't gonna spoil too much. And how all of it had like a crazy backstory on how why is this, why you on this, why they doing this, and why the Titans are doing what they doing. And then season 4 came, and now you outside the wall, you got oceans, you got different people. I was watching a YouTube video. They were saying it might be a sequel. They don't know, but they saying that the Attack on Titan universe is so huge that the portion that they cover was just like a little dot in the Attack on Titan world. So they saying it could be way more different Titans, or it could be way more different people. And he was just going on how season 4 just completely different than season 1 through 3.
I'll be honest with you. That's just somebody that can accept the reality of what's going on with that show or manga or anime.
Think so too.
That's just somebody who can't accept what's going on, because in the new part, which I tell you now, the one that they're going to do for the anime is the newest one that we know of, that we're talking of, because it's going to end up being a Boruto situation. And when I call a Boruto situation to me is you make a new, and that's why Jacob's laughing, because he know what Boruto situation is.
Yep, I know all too well. Oh,
and so
now, hold on. Can we all agree? Like now, Boruto is good. They just
I would never. I told you I would never watch Boruto just based off principles.
So LJ, so you saying
just based off of principles? Just based off principles.
I'm just saying, like right now, though. Like
I don't really know what's going on in Boruto, so you asking the wrong person.
Okay.
But based off of principle, I would just never watch that show / manga because of what it is. And what it is, it's a cash grab. And what's going to happen to Attack on Titan is going to be a cash grab. Because I bet $500. Not really, because I ain't got that money. But I bet that after, maybe not even after a year, but you're going to hear, there's Attack on Titan 2 showing what we saw at the end. And then you're going to be like, LJ was right. Yeah, I was right, because that's what they're going to do, because they need more money. It's just like the gaming industry, with DLCs and stuff. This is their DLC. This is how you get more money. Some anime studios do it.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like, this dude feel like a DLC, you know?
AOT DLC? Oh, fuck.
That's pretty much what it's going to be.
Oh, the future is looking grim. I'm definitely not leading through that, yeah.
And then, start and bring it back, Chainsaw Man. All the people that got mad at whatchamacallit, Attack on Titan, has moved over to Chainsaw Man. And that's why this Chainsaw Man has blown up. I've heard of Chainsaw Man. I haven't really looked into it. But I have a friend that's really into it, and he tell me he hates it right now, or at least the fan base, because the AOT fans, as soon as that the final chapter dropped, they all went to Chainsaw Man, and they're making that community toxic right now. So
looking for
we
fresh
see how that happens. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's I definitely because I definitely appreciated like somebody popping up a message, because for me I was thinking like, oh man, I'm so fucking hyped. This shit is actually looking so great. They're actually like leading this up. They're giving this priority. They're going through. And like I keep having to calm myself down on that sense because hype is good for a fleeting moment, but hype does nothing positive for any sort of series or any like sense in any medium, because it's just when your expectations get that high, there is absolutely no way for you to be satisfied in that sort of deal. So it's just kind of like, I've had my hype, I've had my fill, I've had my adrenaline rush, and at this point in time, I just need to like settle it down, know that it's Mappa, know that things can go wrong, and know what kind of pressure they're under, not only for the animators themselves, considering that they're just living in hellish landscapes, but on top of it being, because Chainsaw Man, as much as we hype it up, it's not just a be all end all. It doesn't have like Attack on Titan seasons 1 through 3 levels of like world building and characters and action and depth and that sort of deals. It is just a really like good time with a really dynamic and really interesting set of characters. So it's just not something that at this point in time, as much as I would like to hype it up, all I can say at this point in time is just kind of like treat it like any other like adaptation, like treat it like any sort of deal where it's just kind of like, we know there are some expectations leading to this, but at this point in time, the best thing that you can do is just kind of like chill and just like let that go and kind of wait until the first episode drops and see what happens.
Just
That
don't
reminds
pull
me
a regular Ragnarok.
Oh no! Oh no!
no.
I'm sorry to cut you off, LJ. I had to throw that in there. Just don't
Nothing
pull
can-
that, because that right there was just I just don't know. Who made it? I know Netflix made it. Just don't. I hope they, even though they ain't, they just know they don't need to pull that. That right there, that was a treasure show.
Well, no, I think Chainsaw Man to me is going to be more on the line of Gleipnir or Dora, one of those two animes. But it's at least it's not being made by Madhouse and what Madhouse usually does. So at least it's Mappa instead. Because with Madhouse, you get one good season, and then that's it. You don't have to find somebody else, and the second season is always trash. When Madhouse leaves up,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was curious, considering that I knew, like, I'd seen the slideshow. I'd read like about half the manga. Like, I'd seen the fights. I'd seen the detail. I'd seen the like all the dynamic, like just action and set pieces like just jump off the page, and then the oh boy, and then that. So yeah, what was it? It was Studio Graphinica, and these guys hadn't. They essentially did their first solo project in 2017, relatively new studio, and they did Hellsing Ultimate back in 2011. Never mind.
The anime right there, yeah.
It's like, okay, so they did Hellsing Ultimate, they did Hellsing OVA, and then through the majority of it, they've done a handful of like CG productions and CG films. Like they did the Hello World movie, they did the Expelled from Paradise one, like way back in 2014. But it's like besides that, I think it was Juni Tyson, like the 12 Zodiac animals have to fight to the death in like a battle royale sort of deal. But that shit was back in 2017. So that was like one of the last major productions that they did. And it's like, oh boy, that's not the one you're looking for.
I like the anime though. The anime was, I give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, which one? Juni Tyson or Ragnarok?
No, Juni Tyson. Ragnarok? No, that's pure garbage.
Wait a second, you serious? You're gonna give Ragnarok a 7?
Ragnarok pure garbage, but Juni Tyson was like 7.5. Yeah, it's so much stuff they could have did with regular Ragnarok. That thing could have easily, if they did it right, that thing could have easily been like a 56, 60 some episode anime if they took the time and just go through it like they like the manga did, but instead they want to do slideshows and hold big boobs. But
the majority of the time and the effort went into just holding those two up and nothing else.
But yeah, the manga itself is good, but the anime, that's one thing I just, even though I don't feel Chainsaw gonna be like that, I just hope it don't be like that. But I don't think it is though. I don't think they're gonna have slideshows or fights. I think it's gonna be good. It's probably gonna be one of them animes where it's gonna be, of course, short, 24 max to me, maybe 26, And if it be successful, they probably gonna do a season 2. And if I wanna, and to be honest with you, they could probably even stretch it out to it could probably go three seasons.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I can see it could do that because we can all agree season 1, if it follows what the trailer showed, if season 1 just follow exactly that, it's gonna be a Demon Slayer. Like Demon Slayer just took over, had the #1 anime movie in the theaters for who knows how long, and now we got the second season coming, and I don't, and maybe another movie. I could be stretching it or reaching,
I
but
think it's
uh, but
next year. Yeah.
but I'm
At least-
thinking I think Chainsaw Man gonna be like that. It's gonna be like a Jujutsu Kaisen Demon Slayer. Like they probably not gonna expect it to take off like it is, and then they gonna dip for like a year and a half, and then season 2 gonna come out, and then they might throw in a movie. Might.
Yeah, definitely give those guys some time, like recover. Yeah, same deal. Eight different projects going at once. Like holy shit. Yeah, what was it? Remain. So the Remain show this season, Tact OP next season, Attack on Titan final part plus Chainsaw Man the season after that. The Jujutsu Kaisen movie is now in production over there, so they got like that for number 5. They announced another movie, Illusion Factory, like written by Mario Okada, and so that's going to be her second directorial work. Like what was it? She was the one that did like Anohana. She was the one that did something a lot more recent. Oh yeah, Nagino Asakara or Lull in the Sea, so that kind of stuff. The Yuri on Ice movie has also been like sitting in limbo for like a number of years, and they just finished up and they just dropped Yasuke on Netflix. So now that Yasuke is out of the picture, it's like 7 straight productions, and 5 of them are going to be coming out in the next
Did
like
y'all watch that?
Watch
6
what?
months.
Yasuke.
Yasuke, yeah, I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch it.
No, it's not great.
It,
It's not great.
yeah, oh man, yeah, no, I didn't.
They did too much.
Yeah, oh dude, it was. I got fucking whiplash when jumping through. They must have been like a production error or some shit like between episodes 4 and 5 because it was like it was that standard bit where you know like main character is trying to escort a young and fragile girl with like with powers that will someday save the world, and he drops her off at episode 4, and he's walking away from the dojo, and he's like, "Wait, you need to come back and join us. We would need your strength. You are the girl's only guardian." It's like, no, I left that. What was it? I left that life behind me a long time ago. I'm no longer a samurai. I'm just a wanderer. And then the credits roll, and then what is it? There's the after credit sequence like goes through with him knocking out guards at the front gate of the enemy's palace, and he's walks out in front of a like an army set like through the what is it, through the warring states, and he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm right back in this fight. 5 minutes ago, what were you saying 5 minutes ago? This wasn't my fight. And it's like, oh my goodness, somebody must have just dropped the ball in terms of communication over there. But it was just kind of like, yeah, I was thinking it was going to be like 2 scenes, but no, they like crammed everything into 6 episodes. Like it was way too bloody quick.
I don't understand it at all. And I think it was because, from my understanding, Mappa was really didn't create this, or wasn't doing the full animation of it. It was that he was just helping out on some things, and another studio was really over it. I can't really remember what the other studio was, but most people are just gonna be like, "Oh, it's Mappa did it," and you can't completely say Mappa did it, but Mappa did have a hand in helping, create it. But it was just a lot for no reason.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yes,
It's just the best way to display that anime. It was just probably never should have came out. Honestly,
It was that bad.
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, there's not really much you can go through. It's just kind of like Flying Lotus was able to do a lot of it, and it's like, oh shit, so this is the first time I've jumped into this guy's music since fucking Samurai Champloo, and I was just like really curious to see what he was able to go through, and it was like background percussion, and rarely did it ever like add anything to the scenes or the action or anything. And it was just kind of like, oh shit, we got Flying Lotus in here, and we're gonna name drop him, and that's about it. Not
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely wasn't as thorough or as like unique and dynamic as Shampoo back in the mid 2000s, and so that was kind of tragic, and not necessarily much went through. And yeah, it was definitely, I would not recommend, unfortunately.
And what is it called?
Yasuke.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix anime.
Hold on. So that's the one about the y'all probably
Yeah.
the Black Samurai, right?
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Okay. I was like Yasuke. I was like, wait a minute. I heard about this. Man, yeah, I heard about that. How I heard about it was from Facebook, and I think it was during Black History Month. I could be wrong. And you already know, first Black Samurai. And of course, they're gonna try to say, try to boost this up. And when it came out, yeah, I didn't want to watch it. I heard about it. I saw clips of it, and I looked at. Yeah, it was just tragic. It was tragic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not much. LaShawn Thomas, he was the one that went through and directed most of it, and it was just kind of like, yeah, no, man, this ain't it. I would definitely recommend like, what is it? Another Jump on Netflix, which is Cannon Busters. Like that was another one that he directed, so that's kind of more in a better vein in terms of recommendations. So LaShawn Thomas would definitely go over towards Cannon Busters, and then in terms of like a map of anime that is on Netflix, that I would definitely go through and recommend in the same vein, like even in the same what is it, like genre as Chainsaw Man, is like a Dorohedoro. Like Mappa recently put that out at the, what is it, at the beginning of 2020?
Yes.
And like that's a much better, that is a much better series to like jump into, like for in that same vein.
Wait a minute, that's the one where the
Crocodile Head.
Mm-hmm.
Crocodile. Okay, I was thinking about something else. My girlfriend watched that one. It didn't catch my eye, but she said it was good. I know the fans, they really like it, or the people who read it didn't watch it, but I think it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, no, it was definitely. Oh, it turned me off, especially like after setting up the trailer, because it was just almost like 90% of it. Like all the characters are CG, which is normally a turnoff in the majority of the productions that are leading through nowadays. But in Dorohedoro's case, it's like it works wonders, and it literally only takes you like an episode to like get over the majority of the stuff, considering that what they're able to do. Like, because I think it was Mappa did a co-production with State Light on this, and how they were able to make the CG like so natural and dynamic through a lot of the action, and it's fucking brutal. Like it is in the same vein of Chainsaw Man, and really like bringing the carnage and the chaos. And it's, I don't know, it's just a really like interesting sort of vein in the sense that dude's dude's got a crocodile head, lost his memories, doesn't necessarily know like how he got it, where it came from. He lives in this like post-apocalyptic, like grunge industrial sort of like warehouse like town, and it's consistently under attack by wizards from another dimension who go into this town and use them as target practice because it's kind of just like an alternate reality that's a training arc where it's like, hey, guess what? We're going to send you training your magical abilities in this backwater warehouse planet that's filled with monsters and like ridiculously like savage humans. Go and have fun. But in this case, we're legitimately following those on the other side. But it's in the same vein, like characters on both sides are incredibly charming and incredibly like dynamic and going through. Like they're always a fun to watch. And like the major core dynamic between one of the main humans and oh god, I can't remember the dude's name. I mean, Crocodile Head's probably just going to have to do for now, but it's just kind of like their kind of dynamic and how their relationship builds over the course of the series is definitely like one of the better ones I've seen in a while. So yeah, if there's any out of all of this mess, if there was any recommendation I would go through, I would still throw Dorohedoro in there and give it a shot.
He got the audience though, I'll tell you that. But I think the CGI just threw me off. But my girlfriend, she loved it though.
Yeah, it
That just
definitely does throw you off in the beginning.
at first I thought you said Doro. Oh, like oh
Oh right, the other the other
yeah.
map. It's like, what the
I
fuck
thought
is up with their namings, dude?
I thought you talking about that. I was about to say, look, I ain't gonna try to spoil it, but what threw me off about that anime was the girl. And I don't know you want me to spoil it or not, but that what threw me off.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely kind of just like it had its peaks and its valleys, and it definitely went up and down. I had seen it, but I don't know. I thought the beginning, I thought it started strong and it ended strong, and it was a little bit muddy in between. Not necessarily,
I think
yeah.
in the middle they were just trying to find themselves, and at the end they kind of got a hold of themselves.
Oh yeah, they really had to bring that shit together.
But what I think it was a remake, wasn't it? Because that anime came out like in the 90s or something like that.
I don't think it was a remake. I think it was I think it was like an adaptation of like a manga from like the 60s or
Yeah, yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, from the 60s. Yeah, yeah. It was old. It was super old.
Oh yeah, so let's see. That was 2019. And that manga was loading through 67. Jesus. Yep, that'll do it.
But it was still good though.
Oh yeah, it was still good. Oh, never mind. They actually did. Never mind. They did make I guess it was a remake. So manga was out in 67 and they did make an anime in 69. Oh, there you go.
Okay, because I knew it was an old anime, and when I don't know who put me on, but they said yeah, this is a remake, and I think you like it, and I ain't gonna lie, it was a good anime, but I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, what is just the middle part where when he was I'm trying to really not spoil it, but it was just in the middle part of the anime, and just know when you get to the scene with some little kids in a lady and they in a poor living condition, you trying to figure out how to get food. You'll see why. I'm not gonna say too much, but you'll see why.
It is definitely a valley to be sure, and not a good one. Oh yeah, no.
But
Yeah,
Jacob,
not
let me ask you this though: what's your
yeah, go for
favorite
it.
anime right now? That's out right now.
That's out right now or just in general?
Either one, out right now or just in general.
Let's see. I would say at least from last season, considering that the spring season just ended, there was a show that went through called Odd Taxi. If that hasn't rang any bells or went through, because this one came out of fucking nowhere for me.
Say it again.
Odd Taxi.
LJ, you heard of that one?
Oh, I'm not. I can't think of that one.
Okay, yeah, I ain't hear that one either.
I don't even. I would. It was definitely one of those ones because it's like every season there's always like one show that nobody has any expectations for, and then just completely like comes out of nowhere and just blows everybody out of the water. Where it's a very simple sort of one, like it's a simple show, simple animation. Most of it is just running off of like the characters and the dialogue for most of it, and it's basically just falling around this taxi driver, but it's Zootopia. Like everybody's an animal, which kind of seems like a common theme, like in terms of a lot of shows that have been coming up through, like Agretsuko, through BNA, through Beastars. That's for some reason been popping up. But anyways, through it's kind of like a Tarantino film, like almost in the same vein, because this taxi driver, he's a walrus, and he has like an incredibly sharp wit to kind of like go back and forth between all of his passengers, and everything goes around. And then within the first episode, everything that surrounds him, like essentially the most dynamic and like chaotic things always happen around him, where it's just in the first episode we got somebody who is a passenger of his just dumped the body into a lake. We have a we have a what is it? One of his passengers tries to go viral on social media, takes a picture with him, and immediately goes viral. Ends up like getting a cult behind him just off of that one photo. He ends up like what is it? Yakuza members are looking after his dash cam, and they want to figure out how like what is it? Like they're trying to figure out if he's related to a murder case that just happened over the past 2 weeks, and it's just kind of like all this shit just like happens around him, and just in the first episode. And so it's just kind of like how the majority of the story builds just all around like a week in this guy's life, and just things just kind of go completely out of control and in no ways than anybody would expect it. So I would definitely say like give that a recommendation, considering that it's only 12 episodes, or no, 13 episodes, dropped on Crunchyroll. It just ended. It's a complete story. There's nothing else like after it, and it starts strong. It finishes strong. And if there's anything big to take out, because I mean, there was Megalobox season 2 last season. We started My Hero season 5. Fruits Basket just ended. But if there's any like major show that anybody I would recommend from last season, Odd Taxi would definitely be the one to go for.
Have you been up to date with Because you mentioned My Hero. Have you been up to date manga wise in My Hero or no?
If we're talking about My Hero, yeah, that is the one that I'm currently up to date. And I am currently a tad concerned about how they're mixing things around currently, like in the anime, considering that they're like flipping arcs, like putting them in front of others just so they can kind of like line things up in a different way, which I'm really curious because there was only one arc that I was interested in watching through this season, and it still hasn't happened yet. And I was going to be watching there was supposed to be a My Hero episode out this morning.
Yeah.
And it was canceled. So
here's my intake with My Hero or manga wise. I don't, because you gotta be careful because not too many people that far in the manga. I'm with you on that, and with the manga anime and them switching up arcs, but I'm thinking they doing that because we all know. LJ, are you up to date on the manga too? You up to date on the manga too, right?
I think I'm like 2 or 3 episodes behind, but I know mostly what's going on.
Okay.
yeah,
I'm thinking what they doing is they're trying to get it set for that huge arc. I don't want to spoil it, but they're trying to get ready for that huge arc.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking that's why they switching stuff around because they're trying to pull a Marvel where they're trying to connect the dots. And I think that particular arc I'm talking about may not come out till like next year. I think.
Definitely not. Yeah, that'll be season 6, which the arc you're talking about. I'm just really curious to see how, with the limited amount of time, with the one arc that they're trying to go through and finish up here, I'm really curious if they're even going to have enough time to go through and finish it.
If they do, they gotta pull, instead of doing seasonals to where they drop a season every year, they're probably gonna do it to where they're gonna drop like 2 that 1 year, maybe.
Yeah, set up 2 cores, like throw out 26 episodes.
Because I'm sorry.
Oh no, go for it.
Because after that arc, My Hero is gonna change forever.
Yep.
Just that arc alone. And right now in the current manga, that's why Deku is doing what he's doing now. Because he's after that particular arc and how everybody's doing them. He's just going through his little phase. That's all. And I think even All Might said he went through that phase. That's all he's doing at current in manga. He's just going through his little phase, and eventually he gonna once he go through his phase, something big gonna happen, and of course he gonna come back, and they gonna do what they always do, and then he just gonna come back to his normal self. That's what I'm thinking. He's just going through a little phase.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it has been a bumpy ride, and Deku he's just trying to do what he does best, and he's trying to be a hero. But I'm really curious to see how everybody goes through, because it will be a while for the anime onlys to kind of like jump in and kind of experience that, because that's definitely not going to be coming out until season 6. And then like at that point in time, well, let's see, considering that the next core that'll bleed into summer, so that'll end around October. So yeah, damn, season 6 might not come out until like January of 23. Like it's gonna be a while. But it's definitely I'm really liking where they are in the manga at this point. I'm really liking it. But then, I'm just really curious to see how they go through. Like maybe they do what Jujutsu Kaisen's doing. Maybe they do what Demon Slayer's doing, and maybe they take one of the arcs and turn it into a movie. Like, who knows? considering that now that's honestly, I'm really curious to see how that goes because it's definitely being a possible outlet to like go through and do that. Because I mean, the third My Hero movie is going to be dropping at least in Japan on
Yeah.
August 6th. So and that's kind of, and I think that's like another one of the rumors that people, or like guesses that people are trying to pull, in that they're trying to line up because they're thinking that the movie in the timeline takes place between what we're doing in the anime now and then what they're going to be doing in the last arc of this season. So in that like 2 week time gap, that's where they're going to try and like fit in the continuity of the third movie, and that's one of the reasons why they think they're trying to line it up. But then after that, like after the third movie comes out, it's like maybe they just follow suit with Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and think, well, we got a couple of big arcs coming up. Like, would it be possible to just line those up and do a film? So I'm definitely kind of curious to see what they kind of take and how. And I can only imagine that the Jujutsu Kaisen movie is going to be a hit, just as the Demon Slayer movie was, because I think it was in this. That like a hit was an understatement. I think it was just like a recurring joke on my channel for like a couple of straight weeks where I was like going through the weekly news and checking in. It's like, okay, this is the last week I talk about Demon Slayer breaking records. This is the last week I talk about it, I swear. And the next week comes up and it's just kind of like, oh, well, yep, Demon Slayer is now the highest grossing movie of 2020 worldwide. Oh, well, Demon Slayer just broke the record for the highest grossing movie in Japan in history. Oh, well, Demon Slayer just broke the Blu-ray sales within a 3-day span. It's like, oh my God, just I can't deal with it. They just can't escape the news. And then literally 2 weeks ago was just, and now Demon Slayer, the film, has been licensed for streaming on Funimation. And that was the first time I was able to go through and actually give it a watch because I was up in Canada. We still don't got theaters here.
You don't?
Nah, the last movie that I saw in theaters was, well, the last live action movie I saw in theaters was Tenet. And that was back in late August of last year. And then I watched the Lupin the Third CG film, I think in September, and then October. That was it. They shut them all down. And so we haven't been able to, at least in Canada, theaters have been shut down for the past, what is that now, 9 months? And we still have no idea when they're going to be opening back up, which definitely makes sense because we still haven't fully opened yet. But it's definitely in that same vein that more and more films, they're still getting like releases in the States, but then now Canada is finally catching up with all these because Demon Slayer movie, Heaven's Feel Part 3, Evangelion, like all of them are coming on to streaming services rather than just a limited theatrical release.
So you saw the whole Demon Slayer movie, right?
Yep, just caught up. I'm finished on that.
What's your rating? What'd you give it?
I didn't really give. I wasn't too like hardcore on Demon Slayer originally. I thought it was a decent shonen. I think I gave Demon Slayer like 7, and I think it was the same vein. I think I gave the movie a 7 as well, where it was same Demon Slayer, great action, great production, like a lot of it set up, but it was the same kind of Demon Slayer to me. Like it was just another one of the arcs. So I did have a lot of fun with it, and I was excited to finally actually have the opportunity to have the chance to go see it. And it was a long time coming. And maybe I did kind of overhype it a bit due to delays and giving myself like way too much time in between, like having the opportunity to watch it. Because I remember reading articles about it coming out in theaters in Japan, or no, articles of the movie about to come out in Japan like late 2019. And then everything got shut down in 2020. And I was like, well, all these movies that I was interested in seeing, 2020 was going to be a great year for movies, anime as well, and we're just going to be pushing it on to the next year. So it was a bit of a wait, it was a bit of a time, but to be fair, at the end of the day, I did still have fun with the Demon Slayer movie.
I think that's what I rated too. I think I gave it a 7. It was good. I did, to me personally, like you said, it just felt like another Demon Slayer episode. I didn't think it was I didn't think it was overhyped to me. The fighting was good, but to me personally, it's just that I saw better anime movies than that.
Yep.
And I think the reason why it was overhyped, I think it got like the kid audience plus the adult audience, and everybody just liked Demon Slayer. Like how that one episode pretty much broke the internet when he was fighting the demon.
The spider guy.
Yeah, the spider guy, yeah. And that broke the internet on the quality of how that episode looked. And I think in general, just the anime, just how it looked, just the character development and how the characters correspond with each other. I think that what probably caught everybody's attention and grew a huge audience. But it wasn't garbage. It just wasn't. It didn't deserve the overhype. I mean, I'm glad it got the success that it got, because now it opened doors for more anime to step up and be like, look, we finna up production, and now we finna start going to the movie theaters and see if we can get some of this money Demon Slayer got. Because now Dragon Ball, Super, they got a movie. Jujutsu Kaisen got a movie. Now My Hero got a movie. Now we start to see like these big fights that can't easily be a season, maybe 24 episode. They're gonna be like, how about we just up the production and we're gonna put it in theaters so everyone can enjoy. And now you get to experience, a huge fight or a huge arc with your friends and a whole bunch of other people who like it instead of just watching at home. So like I said, it was good. It was overhyped to me. It's just that I've seen better fights and better anime movies that's they didn't get that much hype that Demon Slayer got. But in today's world, is anime a little bit different than back in the day.
Yeah, not much you can do. The number one grossing movie worldwide of 2020 was an anime film. There was no way it could live up to that. It was definitely kind of tragic. Like I said before, it's hyping up does absolutely nothing positive in the long run.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, it'll open up. The theaters will open up at some point. That was like some of my what is it? Some of my most positive movie memories go through the first My Hero Academia movie, the first one, which is literally just Die Hard the anime, just with superpowers. That was in being in the same sort of deal. You miss that energy. You miss with shonen fare and shonen films in general. It's just kind of you never really have those outside of at least with the Marvel movies. I hadn't felt that energy since the first Avengers film. It was. And considering that everybody's there, everybody's got the same prerequisite, same amount of episodes, everybody's there for the same reason that you are, everybody knows exactly what you know, some more because manga exists, but what can you do? But it's just that everybody is in that same kindred spirit and in that same sort of mentality that everybody's just there to have a good time. Because you know what? It's a My Hero Academia film. I had more the one that was probably equal to that was the Broly film, because goddamn, did Broly just really go fucking ham in that film?
He truly did. He was too OP.
Oh yeah. Fucking Broly was an absolute monster.
Let's talk about that. Can we all agree that the tournament art, they could have made that into a movie? That Jiren and Goku fight, they should have made it into a movie. I'm sorry. That fight alone was movie deserved. They should have just made that into a movie.
That was an opportunity. They did, thankfully enough, that it did live up to the hype, leading through the final fights with Jiren and bringing in Frieza and bringing Android, Android 19, leading through. And it was just having everybody on the same page and having the same. And of course, when you bring in the fucking opening theme, in the middle of a final fight, you can't help but not be fucking hyped. Leading up to the final few episodes of that final confrontation at the end of the tournament, the fact that certain cities in Mexico were putting up hype posters the same way that would do boxing, in the same that it was going to be fucking Goku versus Jiren, and they were legitimately holding viewing parties in the middle of town squares to kind of give a public broadcast to that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just the event, the sheer scale and magnitude of those final fights inside the Universal Tournament was just absolutely insane.
Yeah, everybody dog Dragon Ball out, but we you can't we gotta agree that Goku and Jiren fight, it's just one of those fights that brought everyone together. Like it crashed Funimation site. Me and my cousins was hype. Everybody, like the whole, everybody in Mexico, they was streaming it, and like you said, they was streaming it. Have watch parties. They was in the freaking streets watching it. Like everybody hate. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people don't like Dragon Ball. But you can't lie. Like that.
Don't like Dragon Ball. What you talking about?
Oh yeah, some people don't like Dragon Ball for real.
I know some people don't like it, but that's far in food between, man. People love Dragon Ball with a passion.
Man, the groups that I'm in on Facebook, they
in some weird rooms then because I'm sorry, but like that's just. I mean, even though I don't watch Dragon Ball that much, I'm not gonna say I hate it. I like Dragon Ball. I still like it. That's the childhood right there.
But a lot of people hate it. It's just that it's just the fights. That's all. Like they have, they fight, and that fight lasts for like 40 episodes. I think that's part of the reason why some people hate it. Like they just carry on too long. Me personally, like you said, I don't like it. I mean, I like it. I don't hate it. It's just like the groups that I'm in, they just don't like it. I don't know. Like if you do a poll, a lot of people don't like Dragon Ball. Surprisingly,
it's had a bit of a gap too, like in terms of just like how long in between the heyday through Toonami in the early 2000s and leading into the 2010s, where you essentially had. Like, what is it? You did have a resurgence, considering that you had the Battle of Gods movie, you had Resurrection F as well, that brought up the hype, and then it dipped as well, considering that Dragon Ball Super really had a shaky start, especially not only with the fights, but the production in general. Like, they just had no idea like how to push this through or like set it up. And then Universal Tournament like definitely like brought it through and brought it back to. I guess you could call it its glory days too, considering that everybody was curious to see how this tournament would go through, considering that you had an extensive cast of Universal, like different Saiyans and characters to actually go through. And what is it? The battle tournaments, and in terms of Shonen, like can always be used. It's a tried and true trope, but you can just bring it out in so many different ways and have so many different avenues to like just crank up the hype and really build up all the conflicts and confrontations that are be going out down the line. And they just did that like perfectly, like once it was getting to a close.
That arc, it just, that, like you said, that arc right there, it was just good. It was long, don't get me wrong, it was long, but I like it though. A lot of people hate it because it was too long, but I like it.
Yep, same deal. Classic problems with Dragon Ball, but that is just a part of the formula. And to be fair, you can still look past it. That's simply go through. I am really curious to see, though, what is that? I think Tokiyama is also going to be doing a bit more writing for the new film that they have coming out at some point in time.
Yeah, the new film going to be completely new. So a lot of people everybody don't know what the movie going to be about. Because they were saying that it's supposed to. A lot of people think or thought it's gonna be the manga with I ain't gonna spoil it, but with the goat and Goku and Vegeta facing him. But somebody made a statement saying no, this is a completely new concept. Like everything in this movie gonna be new. Somebody old is returning, and it's gonna be like some big fights. So yeah, nobody unless they go in there and hack the director files, whatever. They don't, we don't know what this is gonna be about.
Yeah, it'll come out sometime next year, and then it'll come out to the West in 2023. So yeah, all we can do is wait.
Oh, we gotta wait a whole 2 years for that to come over here.
It's that is it, the long run. Although that is definitely something that I can give props to for G-Kids, for 11 Arts, for Fathom Events, and Cineplex. Like all those guys, they've finally become privy to trying to get those, just getting those projects like out, like in theaters as quickly as possible. Considering that the turnarounds, because I was curious because I was never, I wasn't into like Naruto and One Piece back in the 2000s, so I didn't have the opportunity to go see the Naruto and Shippuden films in theaters, but even though there were a couple limited events there, but it seemed like the turnaround time for that kind of stuff to get the dubs and to get like everything out the door was like 14, 15 months on a turnaround from theaters in Japan to like theaters worldwide. And now they've been able to like cut that down where if it's like, hey, guess what? If you just want to see it in Japanese subtitles, if you just want that, we can get that shit out in 2 months. And if you want the dubs, we can get that out within 6. So I'm definitely glad, like especially like with the resurgence, and maybe not as much. People aren't going to be as comfortable going to the theaters for the end of the year, but at least for like 2022, with all these different projects and all these different opportunities to get us back in the seats and back in the theaters and back in kind of that same energy. I'm kind of happy that kind of opportunity is starting to arise more and more often with more and more niche films. And then you can always just have a really good fucking rockin' viewing party, especially when it comes to My Hero or Dragon Ball.
It's a must. You gotta watch an anime theaters. It's a must.
Opportunities there. We all just have the chance to go and experience that consistently. Like there was going to be like definitely a handful of them like going through like by the end of this year, like especially like the My Hero movie as well as like Evangelion, I guess. But I think those are going to be coming out in the streams. But yeah, that is kind of the same deal where, well, let's see, is there? I mean, the Jujutsu Kaisen movie definitely that's going to be making waves. It'll come out December. It's going to be December of this year.
I think 16. I could be wrong. I think it's come out December 16th. Maybe.
Where are you?
It's a poster they came out with the date on it.
Yep, December 24th.
24th, okay.
So yeah, that'll be the setup. So yep, Japan December, and then probably by spring probably by the spring of next year, we'll be able to have the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, and that's probably going to be the first big like shonen fare that we've been able to like catch up on and watch since bloody 2019, since Broly and Promare. So that's going to be a really fun time. And I guess even then, what is it? Like, of course, the Jujutsu Kaisen movie and the My Hero movie, because we'll probably get the My Hero movie first. Never mind, because the My Hero movie is coming out like in 5 weeks. So by the end of this year, we'll get the My Hero movie, and then next year we'll get Jujutsu Kaisen. So more fun times will be had, and we'll have more than enough opportunities to go through and kind of experience those kinds of highs again.
2022 gonna be the year of the anime. I'm calling it right now.
You say that every year.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Ain't the last time. The
last time we did an anime review of the season, and you said, this is going to be 2021 because everybody's stuck in the house and can only watch the anime.
Yeah, so far, 2021 still has lived up. It's like these past 6 months have been fucking fire for like lower known shows like Odd Taxi, and then like the high octane stuff, like considering that we finished Jujutsu Kaisen, we had the first season of Attack on Titan's final part, and like more than enough shows for like everybody of every demographic to watch. So it's definitely been a really fun time for these first 6 months. But I think this summer is going to calm down a bit. There's not too much that's planned for next summer. Like a lot of it are sequels. Not a lot of them are going to be massive, but I don't know. There's still going to be a couple of opportunities and a couple of shows to watch. But I don't know. Yeah, so far 2021 has lived up to its moniker, considering that all the shows that we were going to get from last year have finally been able to pop up and give their own shot by the graces and actually having COVID move along. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, true that. But we all agree, animes. We got some good animes coming up.
It's pretty good right now, and it's gonna get even better.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds about good. I think we had a pretty good session, pretty good chat going through. We got a lot of stuff lined up over the next couple of months for the summer anime season, as well as a couple of movies to look forward to. So, yeah, there we go. Definitely appreciate you guys coming on and talking to me for a bit.
You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah, no worries. All right, that's our show. Anybody, or why don't you shout out and tell these guys where they can find you?
Pretty much, you can find us on anywhere, to be honest, because we on I just put us or submitted our stuff to iHeartRadio, so now we on iHeartRadio. But yeah, you can find us anywhere. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I'm pretty sure all of them. It's a lot. I just know those 3 off the top of my head. You can find us on IG 2_1_4_special. We also got a podcast community Discord, which Jakers is in, where if you got a podcast, you come on there, share your podcast. We got a couple people collabing with each other. I'm pretty much just made that so we can have a community where people could just, find new people, collab. I think that's how Jakers found me, was through the Discord, I think. Maybe.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It was on top of Audrey. Audrey definitely was able to give us a couple of give us a couple of opportunities to go and chat back and forth and set up a collaboration. It did take some time, but I definitely appreciate you guys coming by and actually having the opportunity to go through.
Yeah, for sure. And but yeah, if you got like a small podcast, that's pretty much what Discord is for. I don't post my podcast on there because I don't want it to be mainly focused on me. I just want that to have a space to where all the small podcasters can go on there. Just, post their own stuff so they can get some listeners and grow. Because pretty much that's how, it works. Because a lot of people think you fight with the other podcasters, but that's not how it works. You just get the listeners up, and then once you get the listeners up, you get sponsors, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, we got a podcast community Discord. If you want to join, I think Jakers can copy the link. I think so, but
yeah. I can set that in the description. All good.
Yeah. And, but yeah, you can just go on there, have you meet some people. We pretty much talk all that good stuff. And yeah. And the only thing I gotta say is Fire Force, people sleeping on that anime. They really is. And To Your Eternity, I could be speaking that wrong. I think it's To Your Eternity. That right there is sleep, or not sleep on, but that right there, I highly suggest y'all watch that. People talking about it's sad. And I only watched like a couple episodes, but it's good so far. But yeah, that's all I got. Unless LJ, you got something you want to say?
Nah, man. I think you said it all.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, To Your Eternity is going through. It was one of the better sets of last season, and it's already going through, and it's already got a second core leading into the summer. All right, well, sounds good. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem, man.
All right, sounds good. You can find Anime in the Sea to Sky as well as a 2-for-1 special just about anywhere. You go through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, on a handful, just getting that set up. But yeah, definitely, it's been fun. All right, cheers.
Peace.
Peace.